Hey guys, well the Duster ain't quite what she used to be. I know I hadn't said much about this car recently. You'll probably see why. It's been some changes, just a few changes. Of course, it doesn't look, doesn't look too different now, but still rusty, still brown. You got the grill in it, but it's under here. Some stuff missing. So you may be asking yourselves, well, okay, what did you do to fuck this car up? Or more specifically, why did you fuck this car up? Well, it's not too much of a story behind my reasoning for this. I used some of the parts for the other car, the white car. I used the rear end out of it, brake booster, carburetor, some odds and ends off the engine, things like that. But actually, there's something I bought, so I'll show you that in another video sometime pretty soon. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use this car as a donor car for the one I bought. So mainly for the engine. The other car is in much better shape than this one is, and you'll see when I make a video on it. But I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but suffice to say it's something that can use some of these parts. So this car is gonna, I don't know exactly what future is gonna hold for this one. It's still pretty straight. I haven't taken any body parts off of it. I'm gonna try to go ahead, I'm gonna pull the engine and transmission out because I know they're good and I need them. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try to sell the rest of what's left of it with the front end still under it. I of course took the good rear end out of it, but it's still got the disc brake K-member and disc brake set up on it, which is pretty desirable for anybody with an A body. And I've advertised it on Craigslist a couple different times for sale, and I thought I asked a reasonable price for it. I think I was going to try to sell the whole car for about $400, and I'm not going to give this front end stuff away. It's just that's crazy. People down here, there's not many people with these cars down here, I guess, and they just don't want to, they don't understand why it's worth what it is. So if I can't sell the whole car for a reasonable sum, then I'm just gonna go ahead and part the whole thing out. I'm gonna take all the good sheet metal off of it and everything. So I'd like to see somebody actually use it, maybe turn it into a drag car or something. But this car, it just had a lot of problems. It's not the right color. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but people I'm all for saving cars, but people that don't necessarily do this very much, they say, well, you should save all of them. It doesn't matter what color it is. Well, yes, it does, because part of having a car is you may want to sell it one day, and there's no reason, unless you're just in love with the car, which I wasn't on this one. A brown car is just not going to sell like something else, something a more desirable color, and that's especially true of Mopars. It's hard to sell, like I said, be honest. I mean, you're not going to necessarily keep a car your whole life. There's some people that might, but I'm likely not going to. So it's just hard to, if you want a different kind of car and want to sell what you got, it's just hard to sell a brown car or a green car or a four-door. But anyway, the front end of this car was good. The front sheet metal was real good. Front end suspension was decent, but it had a lot of wiring problems, and I mean all the wiring was shot. And as you can see here, I made videos of this before, but it's gonna have to have a cowl panel put in, and it had some A-pillar rust here, and it had rust through right here. Had rust through right here where they put this sunroof in. Some on the other side. Quarters weren't bad as far as quarter panels go. They just needed some work on the bottoms. Up there, trunk was. Let's see in here at this trunk. I got some stuff in there, but kind of say there, and it had ripped the shock mounts out at one time, and they had to re-weld those, and so, you know, somebody cut those stupid ass speakers in here. They cut the bracing from left, the diagonal bracing. They cut all that out. So that was my main reason for doing what I did, and going the route I went with it. Because, like I said, you know, it's not necessarily that bad of a car, but it just had problems in a lot of areas right here. So it was going to have to, realistically, it was going to have a whole top skin put on it, 2 quarter panels, a trunk pan, 4 pans. You know, it's kind of sad, really, because it wasn't that bad of a car. But you know, you get to the point you have to, if you're going to invest money in an old car like this, and I'm not talking about a you know, just a regular old car that's not necessarily desirable, but something that's, you know, it's a collector's item, and it has a special value, like it's one of these Mopars. I mean, you have to, you know, I'm not made of money. You don't have, you can't just restore every one of them. Some of them are going to have to give their life so the other ones may live. So, unfortunately, that's the story on this one. I hope somebody will buy the whole car and reuse it, but I'm not going to count on it, because down here in the South, you know, people have Chevy fever down here. If it doesn't have a small block Chevy in it, or doesn't have a bow tie in the front of it, they don't know what the fuck to do with it. So it's true for other stuff. I mean, Buicks and Oldsmobiles and things like that. There's a few people that know them and build them, but down here in Alabama, shit. If it's not a Chevrolet, they're confused as hell. They won't touch it. So we'll see what happens with it. But I may make a video on pulling the engine out if I get to it this weekend. Let me show you also the old Malibu ain't what she used to be either. The green one. This car, same deal with this car. You know, it gave its valuable parts for another one, which I'm going to make a video about after a while. Show you what I got going there. But you know, it's just, I hate to park cars out, really. I don't really like it, but you know, this was a running and driving car, and I know there's going to be people say, man, you screwed up a running and driving car, you know. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I tried to sell this car whole for not much money, and tried several times to sell it as a running and driving car. I decided I wasn't going to use the parts off of it, and I couldn't do it. Nobody gave me any money for it. They wanted parts off of it. So, you know, if anybody's going to whine about it, you should have been the one that came up with $500 to buy the thing instead of criticizing. So I did what I did. So the other Malibu is now living and driving. So, you know, people just don't give any money for these things. I got a guy I know, I used to be kind of acquaintances with him until he turned into an asshole. And he, I think he bought one of these cars that's a cop car, and shit, he can't give it away either. So I'm going to pull the engine out of this one and keep it. I don't know, I was going to look around for a truck or an El Camino possibly to put the engine in. It's a good engine, but I, you know, hell, I tried to sell the engine separately. And there's always people that say, well, you want to sell that? You want to sell the engine? And then when you get time to sell it, they're never around. They never have the money. They're just time wasters. You know, that's the thing I guess that frustrates me about the old car, working on old cars and buying and selling stuff, is there's a lot of people that are full of shit about these things. You know, they're not serious. They don't have money. They just want to talk up a good game and talk about what they're going to do and what they wanted to do and what they might do, and fuck them. They don't do anything. They sit on their ass. You know, I don't have time for that. If you want to buy something, come bring me some money and come get it. Don't waste my time. I'm not trying to be a smart ass, but that's just it. If they won't sell, I'll keep it and I'll make money off of it. So, but anyway, guys, let's say goodbye to these two old soldiers. They lived a long time. This one's a 78, this one's a 75, so it's respectively, what is that? Just almost 36 years old and 33 years old, and you know, they gave their life so other cars, old cars, shall live. So, like I said, I'll make a video doing pulling the engines out of them. So, anyway, don't anybody. I appreciate you watching my videos and everything. I love comments, but please don't come on here telling me you should have saved them, you should have done that. I don't have the money to save them all. I got two cars that are worth more than these. You know, more desirable. Not necessarily worth, but they're more desirable, and they're what I wanted to fix up. And I'll make a video of the other A body that I bought sometime when I get working on it. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.